How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Joey Thurman. Welcome to the Blintz. Haven't posted anything in a while because I've been waiting on this playoffs. Been watching the games closely, especially this first round. But I've been watching the regular season, the end of the regular season, very closely, trying to decide, trying to see who was the matchups going to be. So we finally got the matchups. We know who's playing each other. Just game ones are in the book from the East and the West. It's a very, very, very good first round set of games. We're going to get into a lot today. We're going to get into the Spurs and the Warriors, what happened to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to get into the great back and forth game of game one between the Bucks and the Celtics, how I had to go in overtime to decide a winner. All of that and more today on the Blintz. Welcome to the Blintz. My name is Joey Thurman. I'll be your host. Like, subscribe, follow on Snapchat and Instagram. Let's get right into game one. Spurs, Warriors. I can tell Greg Popovich, as I'm sitting there watching the game, wasn't very happy with the defense that they was going on. They had their runs of defense, but let's just face it, Kawhi Leonard is the Spurs' backbone on defense, and he's not playing. It makes it very hard on LaMarcus Aldridge now that he's in the playoffs, and he's more of a focal point to stop. If you go back to when he was with the Trailblazers, if he got double teamed, hey, you got McCullough, you got Leonard, Damian Leonard, you could knock down a three any day of the week. But now, Danny Green is not shooting the ball well. Patty Mills, you got Murray who, can't shoot from deep. So you got a lot of different things when you are LaMarcus Aldridge, going from a team who you are surrounded by with multiple shooters and only being limited to one or two. And now that those one or two are not really shooting how we expect them to shoot, it's becoming more obtained and not enough. Predictions. They're going to go 4 games. Spurs will pick up 1 at home, but that's all they're getting from me. Game 1, if you didn't watch the game recap, 113 Warriors, 92. Rudy Gay, he didn't start the first half, but he started the second half. He ended up with 15 points and 6 rebounds, which is huge for him. I think if the Spurs have a chance to win this series, they have to get more pick and roll action involved with Rudy Gay and LaMarcus Aldridge, because if you sag off Rudy Gay, he's a great mid-range shooter. If you sag off him, he'll knock that 16, 18-footer down, no problem. If you play him up close, a little float pass up to LaMarcus Aldridge, a little give and go with them would be nice. They have to implement that, I think, tonight against the Spurs. It won't be pretty if they can't pick up some momentum. I'm not saying they're going to win tonight, but they need some type of momentum on a positive note to send them back home in front of them San Antonio fans. Because one thing I've learned about San Antonio, they will tell you, and if they don't play up to par, they wouldn't. So I think Rudy Gay has to start this game tonight over Danny Green. He only had 6 points last game. You're on the floor for defensive purposes, yes, I know, but if you get Rudy Gay on the floor at the start of the game, Danny Green can come off the bench with his threes. I think you start Rudy Gay tonight. I don't think anything else should change, but that starting lineup, Rudy Gay needs to be inserted into that lineup. On the flip side, the Warriors, Kevin Durant ended up with 24 points and 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Klay Thompson also put up 27 points. And that's the kind of stuff they need from Klay Thompson, his last couple of games, he was dealing with a small injury, and it caused him to miss some of the games at the end of the regular season. So he's getting back into form. He's getting back to Klay Thompson. He's getting back to shooting the ball like Klay Thompson does. But 27 points does help him out a whole bunch. Like I said, Kevin Durant, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. In order for the Warriors to win tonight, I do believe that point guard Cook has to do a little bit more. He has to set the tempo more or less than Kevin Durant, and especially not knowing if Andre Iguodala is going to get the starting role tonight. He is dealing with an injury, so I'm not 100% sure yet if he's actually going to start tonight. No word has came out, or if he is going to play tonight. Again, nothing has came out yet, so that'll be interesting to see. But Cook has been playing since Curry went down in the regular season. The young man can play. You can't take nothing from him. You can't take his heart away, his passion away, his fearness away. And I love this kid so much. He's not deferring to Klay Thompson or Kevin Durant when the regular season, when he wasn't deferring. If he had a good shot, he took it. Fearless shot. If he got to the rim, he took it. He know Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they're going to get theirs. But if this kid can get his in the playoff, I feel like it's going to go well for them. Especially knowing, you're not 100% sure when Curry's going to come back. I know he did some workouts yesterday. He was feeling great. He intensified those workouts before the start of their game one. I do know he's intensified those more, so it'll be interesting to see when he comes back. A lot of people say he's come back tonight. Do they need him? Do they need Curry to win this series? I don't think so. I don't believe they do. I do know that they do need him to win, to go back-to-back champions. They do need that. They do need him for that. I don't think they can get past James Harden, especially the way he played last night. We'll get into that. But they do need him back. Him and Klay and Steph, Steph, Durant, and then you got Draymond Green, who's going to be an animal no matter what he's doing. So I do think they need Steph back. I don't think they need him this round. If he does decide to come back this round, if they push him to come back this round, probably most likely be on restricted minutes. The thing about it is they don't need him. Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green is enough to beat the Spurs. And I do want to shout out JaVale McGee because he did play a big game last game, so I'm excited to see what he does tonight. Again, Spurs Warriors game 2. That takes place tonight. Switching teams here. If you're just joining me, I am your host, Joey Thurman. This is an edition of the playoff NBA episode of The Blitz. Just give you a little recap of what I thought about it. Warriors, Raptors. I dubbed this Raptors and Warriors one of the most highlighted games to see just because of that backcourt. That backcourt between these two with Bill, Wall, and DeRozan and Lowry is something to see. But it wasn't something to see the first game. John Wall did his thing. John Wall had 23 points, 15 assists. Morris, he helped with 22 points, 11 rebounds, but the Warriors did fall short, 106-114. Ibaka with 23 points, 12 rebounds, and DeMar DeRozan had 17 points. 17 points against the Warriors won't cut it, Rosen. I'm just letting you know that right now. You are thinking about going up against Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James, and you think you're going to score 17 points, it's not going to get it done. DeMar DeRozan, you're an all-star. You are Toronto's golden child. You need to do more than 17 points this upcoming game because it will not cut it. It won't cut it. You have to be more aggressive. You have to be more assertive, and you have to be DeMar DeRozan. You have to be dominant. I'm not taking anything from Ibaka because he did do his thing with 23 points and 12 rebounds, like I stated. Bradley Beal must play better. 19 points, 2 rebounds. He has to play better. And I know, and a lot of people out there are saying Bradley Beal defers to John Wall, and that game he really did. A lot of people say Wizards play better without John Wall. That's a flip of a coin. I do know John Wall assist to turnover ratio is very good, but if you're getting 6 assists against Toronto, 6 turnovers against Toronto, you're kind of killing yourself. You're shooting yourself with your own gun here. Because Toronto's a team who likes to get out and run. And when they run, look out because it's lobbing Raptors after that, especially if Lowry and DeRozan get you. What do the Wizards have to do to play to get this win tonight? To get this win on Tuesday? Bradley Beal has to show up. Bradley Beal has to show up. He cannot defer as much as he did in Game 1. He has to show up. And it's very, 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 very different to Bradley Beal. It's 2 Bradley Beals that I've seen all season. It's the Bradley Beal when John Wall goes down, and it's the Bradley Beal that I've seen when John Wall comes back. The Bradley Beal when John Wall goes down gets you 24 points a game. The Bradley Beal when John Wall is in, almost averaging 20 points a game. And it's sad to say, because a couple of the games of the regular season ending games, depending on what games you looked at, Bradley Beal was a 30-point guy. And I don't know if he just doesn't have the ball in his hands enough. That's not enough Bradley Beal plays in a Wizards playbook. But they need Bradley Beal. As much as any team would love to have Bradley Beal, they need Bradley Beal. What do the Raptors got to do in Tuesday game? DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry has to do better. Simple as that. They cannot be this horrible of a backcourt, and you are the number 1 seed in the NBA final, in the NBA playoffs. You have what you have because of who you are. You're the Raptors. You are a team who's getting overlooked because you are not considered a united team. When I say United States, because you play up towards Toronto. You don't get enough TV time here in the States. Show them why you need that TV time. You have to play better. Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, you got to sit down, eat your Wheaties, drink your orange juice, and get back to what you guys do best, and that's bully ball people. Get out and run the fast break, shoot the threes when you have it. Ibaka, keep doing your thing, man. 23 points, I loved it. 12 rebounds, I even loved it better. What's going on? My name is Joey Thurman. I'm your host of The Blintz. If you are a Miami Heat fan, I feel sorry for you, because there's no way Miami Heat wins once Joel Embiid comes back. There's no way Miami should have got blown out without Joel Embiid on the floor. Joel Embiid is expected to come back tonight. But if they get blown out in game 1 like they just did, I don't want him back on the court. I don't want to see Joel Embiid. Let him rest. And they scored that game Heat 103, 76ers 130. Simmons had 17 points and 14 assists. J.J. Redick, 28 points, and Bellinelli, 25 points. The leading scorer of the Miami Heat, Olynyk, with 26 points and 7 rebounds. If my memory serves me right, Olynyk didn't start that game. If my memory served me right. He didn't even start that game, but he had 26 points and 7 rebounds. And a lot has to do with Hassan Whiteside getting the foul trouble. But hey, it's the playoffs. You got to get big down there, Whiteside. You are the biggest guy on the court. You have to get physical. You can't be that big and not be physical, because people are going to be physical with you. And you crying and whining to the referees ain't going to do you no justice. This is the playoffs. Big things happen in big boy pins down there in that paint. You got to make it happen. Big boy things are happening in the playoffs. You can't cry no more. No more crying. You're too big for that. Let's talk about this guy. He is a declared rookie because he missed his first season. Ben Simmons is a special player. And what I mean by special player is he's not averaging 24 points or 20 points or, in that high 20s, but he is a double-double guy waiting to happen. And if you play his mind right, if Ben Simmons played his mind right, he can be a triple-double guy. And let me tell you why. He's a point guard who's above 6'4". He's getting you 17 points and 14 assists anyway. His court vision, amazing. Have you seen some of those passes their last game? They were passes. Remember Steve Nash back in the day when he would do like passes that you couldn't even fathom, you couldn't even imagine? Well, that's what he's doing. He's making the impossible possible. He is an extraordinary guy who can do an ordinary guy who can do extraordinary things. Ben Simmons, 17 points and 14 assists. You hear that and you say, he's a point guard. Well, no, he's a shooting guard. He's a point guard. He's a small forward. Let me repeat that. No, he's a point guard. No, he's a shooting guard. No, he's a small forward. No, he's all three. When you get a guy who can play 3 different positions, and he is the guy of the 76ers because Joel Embiid isn't out. And I think even when Joel Embiid come back, he still needs to be that guy because he make this offense runs more better without Joel Embiid on the floor. With Joel Embiid on the floor, they become stagnant. They be saying, okay, let me see what Joel Embiid going to do. And I don't like it. Ben Simmons, keep doing what you're doing. The hard thing about getting blown out is when 2 guys blow you out. And those 2 guys are Bellinelli and J.J. Redick. They shot the rubber off the ball that first game. And when you get 2 guys who can shoot the ball. No, I'm not even gonna say. When you get two guys who can shoot the ball, like Bellinelli and J.J. Redick did in game 1, you got to say, well, who do I double? Because you can't. You got to say, who do I lag off? You can't. If I go under the screen, they're shooting up. If I go around the screen, they're driving hole, shooting a little mid-range floater. You can't. If Bellinelli and J.J. Redick have a game 1 like they did game 1, it's gonna be a long season, a long playoff season for those of the Miami Heat world. Because you just can't guard 2 shooters like that, especially when they get on the rhythm and on the road. It is one of those things where you're gonna be like, man, it's a head scratcher. It is a head scratcher. Game 2 of the Heat and 76ers is tonight. I'm excited to see it. I want to see what goes down. I want to see how it happens. If Joel Embiid come back, is he on restricted minutes? If he comes back, is he going to be Joel Embiid? Are the 76ers better or not without Joel Embiid? Let me know what you think, America. Comment below if you think Joel Embiid should be back. And if they are back, if he is back, do they run through him or do they run through Ben Simmons? Let me know what you think. Comment below. Would you take Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid? Because I've seen 76ers all season. And when Joel Embiid is on the floor, is Ben Simmons, come to the weak side or strong side, give me the ball, and y'all get out my way. That's 76ers with Joel Embiid on the floor. Joel Embiid without off the floor is, you go here, but I'm going to pass it here, and you're going to get this easy bucket. I'm going to drive here. I'm going to dish it off to you. You hit this 3. I'm going to drive here. I'm going to up and under. You get this easy 2. Oh, you want to sag off? I'm going to drive to the paint, and I'm going to get this easy layup. Remember, Simmons had 14 assists in game 1. He had 17 points doing it, but he had 14 assists. I think Joel Embiid needs to stay sidelined. I think the brother is a good brother. He's a great talent, but I do believe he needs to stay sidelined. Or they need to figure out how to say, hey, Joel Embiid, this is Ben Simmons' show. Let him run it. Ben Simmons is option A, you option 1A. When Ben Simmons ain't on the road, guess what? We'll see what you got. Welcome to the Blitz. My name is Joey Thurman. The best game on television of that game 1 was the Pelicans and the Blazers. It started off a little rocky, but it got better. Anthony Davis finished with 35 points and 14 rebounds. C.J. McCollum, 19 points, 2 rebounds, with Leonard with 18, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. What do the Blazers need to do to get the Pelicans in the next game? Nothing. They need to win, but they don't need to do nothing. They need to play how they've been playing, shoot the jumper, live and die by it, because that's what they've been doing all season long. Look, Anthony Davis, you're not going to stop the monster. He's a monster. You're not going to stop the brow. You're not going to stop him. Let him do what he does. But you know who you can't stop? The 4 other players around him. That's how you beat a team with a superstar. You let him do him, and you beat the other 4 around him. Because guess what? He can't get 35 and 14 all 7 games. He just can't do it. You let him do what he does because he's going to do it, but you beat the other 4. You beat the others around him. That's how you beat him. Damian Lillard, you got to do a little bit better. They did. Their focal point was on you the first game. So you know what you got to do? You got to make that pass a little quicker. You got to get your first step out a little quicker. And you know what you got to do? You shoot beyond the 3-point line. You don't wait to go to it. You do what you've been doing all season, shooting 2 to 3 feet beyond the 3-point line. C.J. McCollum, you keep putting people in the blender, keep going to the hole, and guess what? Hit them with that little jab step and catch them off guard with a good one. You hit them in the head. The old saying, hand down, man down, it still stands today. Aminu, you got to do more. You got to do more. You got to crash the boards. You got to get a double-double this playoff. You have to get a double-double this playoffs. I don't care if you do a 11 and 10 or 10 and 2 and 10 and 10. You got to get a double-double. Yeah, you are too good of a scorer to be held 6 points. You are too big of a guy to not get at least 10 rebounds. You got to go in there and you got to start putting your weight on people. You got to start bodying on people. You got to start doing it. When they sag off you, don't be afraid to shoot that open 3. I wouldn't have said that about six years ago, but I wouldn't say that now. When you're in that short corner, let it fly. Let it fly. Like I said, Davis, 35 points, 14 rebounds. He's going to get it. He's going to get it, and it's nothing you can do about it. You just got to beat the others around him. That's it. If you have Snapchat, Instagram, comment it below. I'll add you. This show is sponsored by me. I don't have no sponsors. I do it all by myself. The reading is by me. The follow-ups are by me. So I want to shout out myself. Welcome to the episode of The Blintz. I know I've been going for a while. I've been watching this NBA game because I'm an NBA fan, so I ain't really been posting nothing. But I am back with the NBA Playoffs Game 1 recap of all the games from East and West. If you're just joining in, we're talking about NBA playoffs. And what do they mean? Well, it means your name go up in history. You're in the history books for the rest of your life. You get that banner, you get that ring on your finger, you're going to love it. Just ask Kevin Durant. Just ask him. Because he's trying to repeat. Speaking of Kevin Durant, I want to ask the world a question. I want to ask the world a question. The world says Kevin Durant, LeBron James, two best players. Whoever you like the most, that's going to be your best player, the world's greatest player. But I want to ask the world this: if Kevin Durant goes to the finals and wins his second ring, right? And then next season, he goes to the final again and wins his third ring. Who's better? LeBron or KD? Because LeBron is doing Jordan's records. But the only record he can no longer get is the undefeated record in the NBA Finals. Kevin Durant can get that record. So we going by NBA Finals records, because that's what counts, that's what matters the most. If Kevin Durant, just throwing it out, if Kevin Durant happens to go to the finals, and wins this year and next year, he'll have 3 rings. The following year after that third one, if he goes back, he'll have a 4th. So who will be better then? Because everybody's saying LeBron James is the greatest player in the world because of what he does during the regular season. But guess what? To get to the NBA Finals, you do what you do in the regular season. But if you can't do it at the NBA Finals, is it all for nothing? Let me know what you think. Comment below. Does this hurt the legacy of LeBron James if Kevin Durant goes to 3 NBA Finals and wins? Does it hurt his legacy? Does it tarnish his name just a little bit because he's not undefeated in the NBA Finals? Does it tarnish it in any way? Now, I want to retract that because I do think Kevin Durant did lose against the Miami Heat. So I do apologize for that. But at any matter, does it still tarnish it? Moving on. Bucks and Celtics. That was the game of the night. Had to go into an overtime to do that game, but it was a game of the night. Giannis had 35 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, with Middleton with 31 points, 8 rebounds. Al Horford, 24 points and 12 rebounds. Tatum with 19 points. But listen to this. Rozier, Brown, and Morrison were accompanied by Al Horford. Rozier, 23 points. Brown, 20 points. Morrison, 21 points. 4 players with the Boston Celtics. 20-plus points. Tatum was off that mark by 1 point. Still put up 10 rebounds. Celtics ended up winning that game in an overtime. What does that mean for the Bucks? I think that Game 1 is Game 1 because it was their home court. It was the home court of the Boston Celtics, and they needed to make a statement, and they made it with 4 players going 20-plus points. Can you count on Al Horford getting you a double-double in this Game 1? No. I don't think he can do it. I do like Al Horford. He's a great vet. He's a great player to play with. But if he puts up numbers like that, then they have a chance. If he don't, they're going to be sitting on the couch. Moving on. Pacers, Cavs, Oladipo, 32.6 rebounds. LeBron James had a triple-double with 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists, and they still came up short. This is the game that everybody is talking about across America. Pacers and Cavs. Why? LeBron James is the best player in the world. Hands down. Can't believe I'm saying it because I think Kevin Durant's the best player in the world. But LeBron James is the best player in the world. And Pacers did what everybody would do. LeBron's going to score. But if you beat the four around him, it's fine. LeBron was so mad at his team. But he's a, professional. He's going to get mad on the court. Every player gets mad on the court. But LeBron was so mad at his team. You know how I know when I was watching the game how mad LeBron was? You know the ball smack? Like the ball smack? When you coming out of a timeout or out of bounds and you have to run an inbounds play and you smack the ball to let everybody know what's going on, to ready when the signal and all that stuff. When you do that on the court, you're pissed off. You're mad. LeBron James did a ball smack in the middle of the game. He's yelling at his teammates, "Give me the ball." And what did he do when he did that? He did that. 2 steals. He got 2 turnovers. Did he get back and help? No. Of course, Kevin Love, Larry Nance, they got to play better. Kevin Love, this is your time to shine, but listen. LeBron James was so mad during that game, he wasn't even talking. In the huddles, he wasn't getting back on defense. Hell, he didn't even he wanted to play offense. But you know who did wanted to play defense? You know who did wanted to play offense? The Pacers. You know who did wanted to play offense? Oladipo, because he had 32 points. Unconscious of 32 points. And I don't know if it was just me, but he looked like Russell Westbrook out there taking over the game, saying, "Give me the rock, move out my way, let me do my thing, because I feel like I could beat anybody on this court." And if you didn't see the dunk by Lance Stevenson when LeBron James guarded him, go see it. Father Time stopped and paused for a minute, because Lance Stevenson still got a little bounce in this step I saw. Moving. Jazz, Thunder, another good game. Mitchell had 27 points and 10 rebounds. This is a good rookie. I'm going to get into that in a moment. Thunder, Westbrook, 29 points, 13 rebounds, just 2 shy of a triple-double. He had 8 assists. PG 13. Oh, no, excuse me. I think he did a new nickname. I think it was PG Playoffs. Well, he lived up to it. He had 36 points and 7 rebounds. Paul George's playoffs. 36 points and 7 rebounds. And he was unconscious from the deep ball. I think he went 4 of 6. Unconscious. Great win by the Oklahoma City Thunder. They needed it. They wanted it. They had to have it. So they got it. But let's get back to this kid, Mitchell. Unconscious. He's feared by nothing, but loves everything. He went 4 for 4 in the first 5 minutes of the game. Fell off after the break, but he still ended with 27 points and 10 rebounds. And he's a rookie. Ben Simmons is a rookie vet. Mitchell is a straight rookie and leading his team. Do they beat the Thunder? No. Do they win a game? They may get one at home. But this kid is unconscious, and I love how he's playing. I love everything about him. And the thing about it is, you're the number one guy as a rookie. You're not learning from a vet because you don't have any other vet who you need to learn from. Ricky Rubio is there, but it's his first time in the playoffs. So he's seeing all these bright lights, bigger stage for the first time. Who needs to play better in this series? Rudy Gobert. He's too athletic, too long to not have a double-double every game of these playoffs. Now, I know Steven Adams, that's my guy. He is the best offensive rebounder in the NBA, hands down. But it's two sides of the ball. It's offense and defense. And if you think you can't outbox Steven Adams on the offense end, well, baby, you better get down there and outbox him on your end. Because you're too long and too athletic. You should be a 15 or 12 guy every night. Rockets, Timberwolves, Brisbane. Timberwolves played a good game. Rockets had a fantastic game. James Harden with 44 points, 8 assists. Kenton Capella, 24 and 12. Jeff Teague, 15 and 9 and 8 assists. I want to get into Jeff Teague for a moment here. Jamal Crawford. When you have a guy who likes to dribble the ball much as Jamal Crawford and Jeff Teague do, sometimes they make spectacular plays, especially Jamal Crawford. And sometimes the opposite is true. What I mean by that is they like the ball in their hands. No questions down. Everybody does. Everybody wants to be something in the NBA. That's why you play them. But let me give you two numbers, 8 and 12. And if you didn't see that game and you're wondering why 8 and 12 are two important numbers, because those are the numbers of Karl Anthony Towns. He had 8 points and 12 rebounds. There's nobody in the NBA. Let me repeat that. There's nobody in the NBA who is more post-skill dominant than Karl Anthony Towns. And you overlook Karl Anthony Towns in the post. I'm sitting here watching that game, and I'm watching it, and I'm paying close attention. I remember watching that game. I can count at least, when I was watching the game, 6 times in the first quarter where Karl Anthony Towns had either Gordon, Harden, or Chris Paul on him, and he got overlooked by Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns got overlooked by Jeff Teague and Jamal Crawford. Overlooked. They didn't feed him in the post. Yet, you'd rather feed him a ball in the short-range corner to try to hit a 3. Wide open, he'll knock that down. Give him 20 shots at the 3-point line, he'll probably knock down 11 of them. But to be as post-skilled as he is and got 8 points and 12 rebounds because he got overlooked by the guys who are supposed to get him the ball is uncalled for. The best thing you can do when Karl Anthony Towns is on the floor, the best 2 things is A, feed him in the post, and B, put him in pick and roll. They did not do that. Public service announcement. Give Karl Anthony Towns the ball in a mismatch situation. Now, I know you're back there watching game film. I know you're back there watching the film on it. You're saying, hey, guys, we got to get this here. We got to make sure we get it because he has a mismatch. BS. I don't want it done in the meeting room. You are on the courts. You are right there. You have a halftime break. You fix it then. You pull your Jeff Teague, you pull Jamal Crawford, you pull them by the jersey and say, get this man the ball in a mismatch situation. Chris Paul, really? You don't give him the ball? James Harden, you don't give him the ball? Gordon, Ariza, you don't give him the ball? Give the man the ball down in the paint. He is the best post athlete down there, and you overlook him to shoot a three, a contested three, a dribble contested two, try to make it to the basket and spinning off the rim, layup, fancy style, instead of get him in the ball and let him work. Because guess what? He's a willing passer. He'll pass the ball to you if you're open. Give the men the ball and let them do work. If they double team them, get ready to shoot. You want to shoot so much, that's how you do it. That's how you find the mismatches. That is how you beat the Houston Rockets. You let Cat go to work and be ready to shoot when he passes to you. Because guess what? You're giving it to him on the three-point line, ain't going to help you much. Because guess what? There's a player on the opposite side. He go by the name of James Harden. And he had 44 points against you last night. And he shot the three ball from deep. If you're thinking Karl-Anthony Towns is going to outshoot James Harden, you got another thing coming, boss. But you know what? It can happen. Karl-Anthony Towns can post up James Harden. Karl-Anthony Towns get James Harden in foul trouble. Karl-Anthony Towns get Chris Paul in foul trouble. He get Trevor Ariza in foul trouble. He get Eric Gordon in foul trouble. So guess what? Give him the ball. It's ridiculous that you didn't give him the ball. Karl-Anthony Towns in a mismatch, give him the ball. Hell, he can even get the ball when he got Clint Capella on. Guess what? Get him in foul trouble early. You take Clint Capella out the game, we get quick 2 fouls, guess what? Now it's a Cat Towns day. Now it's a dribble drive day. Now it's a fancy layup, let me spin this off the glass type of day. But you don't feed him the ball, you lose a game like last night that you should have won, because if you go back and you look at all the mismatch posts, if you just give them to him on the mismatch, that's a three you make possibly it can have, but it's a dang sure for 2 points you're going to have. And if you're not going to give him the layup or the dunk, guess what? You're sending them to the line, and guess what? It's still 2 points. No matter how you slice the turkey, it's still 2 points. I am very disappointed, very, very disappointed in the Timberwolves and their play against the Rockets last night, not giving Towns his mismatch opportunities. A dream match for Towns is a mismatch. Every center in the league he can go up against is a mismatch, but when he gets a shooting guard, a point guard, a small forward on him, he's saying, give me the ball. I'm going to steal your line, Shaq. That's barbecue chicken time. Because the man is the best post player in the NBA, and you overlook him to shoot a dang gum three or drive to the hoop when you got Clint Capella standing 2 feet away from the rim? No. You give the man the ball and let him do work. He's a willing passer out of the double team. That's how Jeff Teague knocks down the three. That's how Jamal Crawford knocked down the three. That's how Jimmy Butler gets back in rhythm and knocks down the easy three or a mid-range two. You give him the ball and get out of the way and be ready to shoot. On the other hand, Clint Capella with 24 points and 12 rebounds. What do they got to do to stop that? You got to get back on D. Because you know who's a willing passer? The guy who just had 44 points and 8 assists. James Harden, he's a willing passer. And guess what? Clint Capella had 4 or 5 lobs for 2 points. You got to get back on D. You got to run the floor, get back on D. Because let me tell you, when you get a turnover, and Clint Capella can use them long legs to stride out, Oh, it's over with. Because a point guard is going to try to stop James Harden. Impossible. You can't stick with him. He's going to put you in the blender. And if you try to foul him, he's the smartest guy in the world to get to the free throw line. But if you back off, Clint Capella going to say, you know what? It's time for me to escalate up this little guy and I'm going to dunk it over your head. Get back on defense. Transition defense will win this game for you guys. But you didn't do it. You didn't feed Karl-Anthony Towns in the post, which is the stupidest thing you can do. And Thibodeau, you should have saw it, and you should have said, hey, we have a mismatch. You're a coach. It's your job to recognize mismatches, but you didn't. It's your job to run the pick and roll, but you didn't. Jimmy Butler is coming back for injury. You gotta understand, you want to ease him to it. You want to get him right. You want to let him find his stroke. But guess what? The best way to do that, put him in the pick and roll. Because you're not going to leave him open. And to double Karl-Anthony Towns. So you forced them to find a way to beat you. If Karl-Anthony Towns' numbers read 24 and 12, with 4 assists, that's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. Pathetic excuse of a loss. Pathetic excuse of plays. Pathetic excuse of point guard awareness. You get paid to play right and to play smart. Timberwolves, you did not play right. Timberwolves, you did not play smart. Because if I got Chris Paul on Karl-Anthony Towns, that's an easy foul. That's an easy 2 points. That gives you 12 seconds to rest. I am not happy with the play of the Timberwolves. Game 2, Heat 76ers tonight, followed by the Spurs and the Warriors. Catch it tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of The Blintz. And baby, I can't wait. I'm your host, Joy Thurman. Peace, love, happiness. That's what everything is about. See you tomorrow on another episode of The Blintz.